Elmira woman is speaking out tonight after police say she was attacked, tortured, and kidnapped by her ex-boyfriend. The woman says it all happened in front of her 13-year-old son. Good evening, Pointiers. I'm Deja Gross.
And I'm Trina Catterson. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. We want to warn you, what this mother has to say could be difficult to hear. She spoke exclusively with our 18 News reporter Nick Dubina. Well, Nick, why is she deciding to speak out just days after the assault?
Hey guys, well, this mother says she feels the justice system failed her. She says New York State bail reform allowed her ex-boyfriend to walk free on other charges before this assault. She also told us she is sharing her story to raise awareness about domestic violence.
So this is where he grabbed me and repeatedly punched me, tied my hands up right here. He ripped my fingernail off with a pair of pliers, trying to part of the torture for the 8 hours.
Amber didn't tell us her last name, but she did want to show her injuries and tell her story after surviving a nightmare that she says started just after midnight.
It was my ex, Damian Gooden. We were in an on and off again relationship, but then things got violent.
A criminal complaint in Bradford County, Pennsylvania says 47-year-old Damian Gooden broke into her home in Elmira around 12:30 a.m. on Sunday, April 21st. 9 days before the assault, a judge had issued a restraining order on Gooden, but she says that didn't stop him from ambushing her in her own bed.
My son and I were sleeping, and I heard the back door kick in, crash in, and before I realized it, he was already on top of me, punching me numerous times in the face and my throat, and I lost consciousness. I didn't know. And then, he drugged me into my son's room, continuing to stomp on my hips, stomp on my ribs, and then told my son to watch what he was going to do to his mom, and he's only 13 and he's autistic, so
The complaint says Gooden dragged Amber by her hair to the living room. He then tied her up in a chair using a shoelace and phone charger.
And he grabbed a big giant kitchen knife and I asked him, why? And he was like, well, the knife is faster to kill you than my fist. And I'm like, well, just don't hurt my son. My son was terrified. He didn't dare to move out of his bed or anything. We had no cell phones, no nothing. He took all those.
Amber says around 5 a.m., Gooden told her and her son to get into the backseat of their car. She says he told them they were heading to Philadelphia.
On the way out, I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and stuffed it in my shirt so I at least could make a sign to make people aware, hey, help, we've been kidnapped.
Gooden pulled into this gas station in Sayre and then went inside the convenience store. What he didn't know was that Amber was about to make her move to call for help.
This gentleman pulls up in a truck. I tap on the window, I show him the sign. He kind of acknowledges, goes around my car, the license plate, goes in, tells the clerk.
Amber says Gooden came back out and started to fill up, but the gas pump suddenly stopped. When Gooden went back inside to see the clerk, Amber says she saw a chance to call for help.
The cell phone just so happened to fall between the door and the seat of the car. So when he got out, I was able to grab the cell phone, immediately called 911.
So you saw a window of opportunity there and you took it?
Right, I did. It was like my motherly instincts kicked in to protect myself and my son, at least my son. So
she hid the phone before Gooden came back. She says in about 3 minutes, Athens Township police officer Tyler Young pulled into the gas station.
So we were pulling out, and he turns the lights on to stop him. He wasn't stopping at this point, so I put my seatbelt on thinking, oh no, a high-speed chase. And I had said to Damian, please just stop the car. You didn't want to hurt us. Let me and my son out.
The complaint says Gooden drove about a mile before pulling over. Police say he put the knife on the passenger seat and got out with his hands in the air.
Why, after everything you've been through, do you want to speak publicly on what happened?
Well, with domestic violence, it's a lot of times swept under the carpet because women are so afraid of prosecution or lack thereof. And then with the bail reform, he got out and he was able to assault us and kidnap us because the bail reform in New York State allowed him to just freely walk out. So it's basically awareness.
Now, police say Amber's son was not physically injured. Amber says she's no longer staying at that house. Gooden is being held in Pennsylvania on multiple felony charges. They include kidnapping to inflict injury and kidnapping of a minor. His bail is set at $2 million. Gooden also expected to face charges in New York, where this assault started. We posted our full interview with Amber on our website. That's mytwintears.com. Deja.